ما أعتقد أحتاج نوم. I'm good. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. الثانية غفر الله لكم. لتعجيل في فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. الثالثة بأعلى أصواتكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترضت على عبادك فيه الصيام، صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في عامي هذا وفي كل عام، واغفر لي تلك الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا علام. دعاء الافتتاح. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي، أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده. قهر بعزته الأعزاء، وتواضع لعظمته العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أناديه، ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازيه. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني. فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك، استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله، مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له، أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا، وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وأعزز به ذلتنا، وأغن به عائلنا، واقض به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشفي به صدورنا، وأذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله، وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله، وبضر تكشفه، ونصر تعزه، وسلطان حق تظهره، ورحمة منك تجللناها، وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فأدخلنا، وفي عليين فارفعنا، وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا، ومن الحور العين برحمتك فزوجنا، ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فأخدمنا، ومن ثمار الجنة ولحوم الطير فأطعمنا، ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فألبسنا، وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا، وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا. وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا، وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا، وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا، وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا، ومن الزقوم والضريع فلا تطعمنا، ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا، وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا، ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل القطران فلا تلبسنا، ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم، من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل، أن تكتبني من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم، المشكور سعيهم، المغفور ذنوبهم، المكفر عن سيئاتهم، وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية، وتوسع في رزقي، وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك، ولا تستبدل بي غيري برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل يا رب على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Welcome everyone to the 14th day of شهر رمضان المبارك. بعد ما أعيدها بعد. So inshallah we'll have our regular discussion in here tonight for the elders and for the people over 16. But for the participants of tonight's Quran competition, who's participating in tonight's Quran competition? Everyone who's participating. Zayuni, you're participating? Ahmed, you're participating? Ali? وينهم؟ حسين علي إلياس هم لا. Okay. So inshallah, Subhan, are you in? Hussein, you're reciting? Okay, inshallah. So for everyone who's participating in the Quran competition, I ask that we move over to the hall next door. It's getting set up now, but if you're participating, there's a door at the back. Follow Brother Athir. He's in the white sweater. He's currently being spoken to, but you'll be able to follow him very soon. Yeah. Athir, our shining white flag. Thank you. Inshallah, we'll be having the Quran competition there. Our judge, Ammo Abu Maryam, you're gonna go soon, yeah? Soon. When I'm done this, when I get up, we'll go together, inshallah. Okay, and then tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be having the Mawlid of Kareem Ahlul Bayt, Al-Imam Hassan Al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, the first grandson of the Holy Prophet. So please, everyone who's here tonight, I expect to see you here tomorrow and double the amount, inshallah. We're going to be having the Majina celebrations. You know, there's treats for the children. They come, and every child who comes, inshallah, if they're like, I don't know what the age is, under 10, they'll be getting treats, and it'll be recited, of course, by our dear guest, Mullah Hassan Mudaffar. Just to repeat, any contestants for the Quran competition, please meet in the hall next door. The door is open, so you can come over to the next door hall and inshallah show your reciting skills. Bi'idhnillah. But without further ado, let's begin tonight's discussion with our dear Dr. Ali Al-Hilli by welcoming him to the front with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تسبح له السماوات السبع والأرض ومن فيهن وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم إنه كان حليما غفورا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. My dear sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Imagine it is March 2035. Yes, you in March 2035. You wake up in the morning, you have a smart prayer mat. It can guide you towards the correct, exact direction of the Qibla, and notify you of any errors that you do in your prayers. And you also, when you go to sleep, you have an AI-powered sleep monitoring mattress where it examines your style of sleep and it learns to make you comfortable every single time. So it's a machine within your mattress that whenever you start to move around, it looks for different patterns of movements and it starts to learn to how to make sure it becomes a place where you are very comfortable when you sleep. Imagine when you go and brush your teeth, you have a smart toothbrush. A smart toothbrush in one that is specifically customs to your teeth. And it knows where the decay is. It knows how to brush your teeth in a specific custom manner. And imagine you have an AI optimized health routine. You have a bathroom mirror that knows you very well. You speak to this particular mirror. It is integrated with AI. And also this particular mirror, it analyzes your health metrics. So it says, look, you look in a particular way. You look a bit pale maybe today. You need to lose maybe a bit of weight. It calculates looks at your skin, etc. So it has that particular health metric, yes, that you interact with. And when you go and want to have some breakfast, you have a smart kitchen. A smart kitchen actually produces your nutritious breakfast based on your specific dietary preferences. And you also have a smart fridge. The smart fridge, it goes and orders the groceries, yes, by itself automatically. So if you have some, is it tomatoes? Yeah, tomatoes, or we say tomatoes. Tomatoes, yeah. So if you have some cucumber, the tomatoes that is you've finished all of them, yes. So the fridge is smart enough to go and order some of the vegetables that you need to order, okay? And also it is something that will continuously happen without you needing to actually physically go and order. You have also a smart oven, and it's a kitchen robot that prepares your breakfast with minimal intervention from you. This is you in March 2035. Yes? In exactly 10 years' time. Also, when you're going to work, when you want to commute to work, you have, which we also have now, you have a self-driving car. But self-driving car, it's in real time. It shows your emails, it shows your messages, it interacts with you, it talks to you, but there is no driver, of course. You have a conversation with this, and you can say, you tell the car, I want you to stop at this particular cafe. I want to have my coffee there. And it interacts with you or puts on a particular thing you want from the radio, or something you want from YouTube, or if you want a version of the Quran of this particular person. And it continuously learns, this AI car, it learns that this is specifically what you like in the morning, and what you like in the afternoon, and what you like in the evening. And this commute, of course, is also productive, because you start checking your emails, and it reads out your emails, and it reads out your messages, and it might dial meeting, and it schedules your meetings for the day. Now, when you go at work, perhaps whatever your line of work is, if you have an office, it knows how to adjust the temperature in your office, because it knows you particularly like it a bit warmer in the morning, and it might be a bit cooler as we go on during the day. You have these virtual collaborations, so you have people appearing right in front of you, but they're virtual. Okay, so as if you are seeing them in front of you, but they're actually quite virtual. And you have these AI productivity tools. There are data analysis tools, project management, and a lot of what you do is actually personalized learning. So, what about your Islamic duties you're in 2035? Okay, as a mu'min here living in Toronto, okay, and you're very much your routine is AI driven. What will be your Islamic duties? So Islamic duties, you might have an AI app, Quranic app, that actually is customed just for you again. So it knows, you can read with the AI app. It teaches you how to continuously reading. It corrects you, okay? And it gives you the tafsir as you start to interact with it. You have a customized dua app, again, just for you. A customized dua that knows which is your favorite dua. Recite it in the way that you love a particular specific recitation. Okay? And also, maybe while you're at home and living in this virtual environment, you also want to, there is a majlis here in Rasul Al-Adham and say Muharram. But you feel a bit tired. You don't want to watch it live. Actually, you want to be present, but virtually. So you come and sit down in the majlis, but you're not sitting down in the majlis. You're actually at home sitting down. But it's virtual reality, where you sit down right here, but it's as if you sit down in your living room. It's as if you are sitting down here in front of the majlis. Okay? And what if in 2035, you have a virtual imam. You have a virtual sheikh who's available for you to speak to him, or it rather, 24 hours a day. Now if you want to speak to a sheikh, a sheikh has to go to sleep, of course, and some of them are, occupied with things, and you try to send them an email, try to call them, etc. But at that time, you probably will have a virtual sheikh who you can speak to at any moment, right? And you can even at 2, 3 a.m. ask the sheikh a question or have a conversation with the sheikh. The sheikh is available 24/7. So, what's happened, my dear brothers and sisters? If we go back a lot in time, countless cycles of growth and adaptations has happened throughout human evolution. Okay? So what's happened is at the time, we went with stone axes and fire. And then we started developing languages, writing. And eventually, human beings started to develop industrial technologies. And then a lot of the Muslims at that particular time, perhaps in the 9th and 10th century, an individual called Al-Khwarizmi and others, Muslim scientists and mathematicians, who introduced the concept of algorithms, okay, and in mathematics. And one invention unleashed 1,000 more. But something happened around 80 years ago that has changed the course of this world. And that is the invention of computers. So the invention of computers, the invention of that chip, has changed our lives completely, hasn't it? Can anyone live now without these particular chip? Because we have it on our phones. Anyone here doesn't have a phone? Everyone here has a phone. And every phone has a chip, okay? And this invention of this chip has changed our lives. And of course, we communicate through these particular phones. And not just that, we have laptops, we have computers, we have PCs, we have the programs within them. We move our businesses and everything else developed through these particular computers. Then we had the internet not long ago, which again changed the world. And then we have the smartphones, which we are interacting. My dear brothers and sisters, throughout the ages of stones and when we used to create stone axes and fires and things like that, all the way till today where we have a smartphone. And 8 years ago, there was a massive technology of computers. What's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years will also change our lives. Like how 8 years ago, computers have changed our lives and smartphones have changed our lives. The advent of artificial intelligence, my dear sisters and brothers, will change our lives. as just how I described in 2035. It will change your life. Whether you like it or not, it will change your life. Because you have to be adaptable. You have to follow this particular route and this particular modern technology. Because we live in the West, and this is what the West provides. Okay? And we've done that. Now with the advent of ChatGPT, with all these bots, we have Copilot, we have the different Gemini, we have, for example, of Google, we have different AI bots that help us. Just a quick show of hands, who here continuously uses these particular AI bots? So we have around maybe 30-40% of you who use ChatGPT, who use Copilot, who perhaps use Gemini, you have it on your phone, yes? And I know that in the next few years, it probably will increase to around 60 to 70% of you, okay? And then eventually will become 100%, because this is the root. For me, in my work, in me trying to, come up with ideas in terms of lecturing, and my work in terms of the community, I use ChatGPT nearly every single day. Nearly every single day I use ChatGPT, because it's a tool available that will speak to you 24/7 of the time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? It's a tool for us to make good use of, and it's a very powerful tool. Okay? And so it is important, my dear brothers and sisters, that we are now talking about artificial intelligence, a technology that allows machines and computers to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. So this is artificial intelligence. Now you might be wondering, okay, these are the nights of the holy month of Ramadan. Why is the speaker talking about artificial intelligence? Isn't it? Yes? Well, the reason is, my dear brothers and sisters, is as I said in my talks continuously here for the last 14 days or so, that in my view, we have to be the best of ummahs. We have to be the best ummah, the best of communities. Okay? As I continuously say, we are the ummat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And so because we are the community of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, we've got to be the best community. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. Correct or incorrect? And for us, my dear sisters and brothers, for us not being in touch with what AI is happening in the world of AI, and for us not being involved, is not something that the Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim want us to see. They want to see us making sure that we are in touch with technology. Want to see that we preserve the religion of Islam and make sure this particular technology positively affects our religion and not negatively affects it. Okay? And so we've got to be aware, especially for the youth. You might wonder that perhaps the elders say, but I don't even know what AI is, and let the youth sort of deal with this. Well, it's interesting they say this because eventually they will have to get involved. But yes, our youth have to be people who are very much in touch with the technologies, and also maybe take their career towards being experts in AI, because we do desperately need Muslims, mu'mineen, experts in AI, as I will go on, inshallah, in this talk. Now, the way they try to describe AI is that, an example is that if someone did nothing, if for you, for example, you did nothing at all but read 24 hours a day, your entire life, so from your age of 0 until say the age of 80, every single day, 24 hours you just read. Hypothetically, you will consume around 8 billion words. Okay? So you'll read around 8 billion words if you were to do nothing 24 hours a day and just read. But today, the most advanced AI consumes more than 8 trillion words in a single month. Yeah? So in your lifetime, you read 8 billion words. If you read 24 hours a day, which you're not going to do. But a computer reads 8 trillion words in 1 month. And this is going to even increase. And now they have these super computers, okay, which move extremely fast. And we have these billionaires like Elon Musk and others who are pumping so much money, and they're way ahead of us. They're way ahead of us as a community all around the world, okay? Again, I reject this. And I say this. I truly believe that we are the best ummah. It says it in the Quran. We've got to be the best ummah. We've got to make sure that in 2035, when all these technologies have taken a strong position in communities, we have to be up there. We have to invest in our youth, our shabab, to make sure that they go and study AI. Not just medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, all that stuff that we continuously push our children. We have enough doctors. I say this in the UK. Every other probably Iraqi is a doctor or is a dentist, okay? And other communities as well. But how many of us are actually AI experts? How many work in these big companies who are now competing with one another? So Apple is competing with Microsoft and ChatGPT and Google, and all these companies are working very hard to compete with one another so that they can advance in AI. Where are we in this? Where is the Islamic countries in all this? Yeah, which they just continuously fund the West, but actually do not use their brain. But they have a lot of money, a lot of wealth from oil, and they give the others, say, you guys develop the technology. We'll sit here and fund terrorism. Yes? Or fund whatever we want. And it's really important that we've got to realize this, isn't it? Okay? So, there are 3 categories of AI. And I just really want you, today is my last sort of proper talk. Tomorrow is a short talk. Okay? So I thought I will, inshallah, we'll move into technology. Yeah, and I really need you to be cognizant, pay attention to this, because it's going to bite us, my dear ummah of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Oh. So there's 3 categories. There is the artificial narrow intelligence called ANI, yeah, which we are in now, mostly. So this is when you provide a limited set of constraints to the model. So how does AI work? Actually, my PhD was partly on AI. I finished it in 2005, okay? So that was a bit of my background, way back 20 years ago. And see, I could have been a millionaire if I continued, but hi, alhamdulillah. But, this is best. This is much better than that. But, what it does is what we've provided it with limited set of constraints. Okay? So the way that AI works, it learns from what data we provided. So they are called machine learning. Okay? So it learns, a machine that continuously learns. So I provide it with data, it starts to learn that data. And then I provide it with new data. And then it updates and learns the new data. And then once it learns, it starts to produce predictions and starts to produce information based on the learning, based on the data that we provided it. Okay? So this is now we're providing all this data that ChatGPT and others are based on the data information in where? In the internet, isn't it? Okay? And it tries to use that information, right, and come up with a particular answer. So now we have a limited set of constraints we've provided it. My dear brothers and sisters, there are 2 further steps that AI experts are saying. The next step, which is some are saying we've actually moved into it perhaps, is called the artificial general intelligence. This is AGI, is comparable to human intelligence. So the next stage is exactly like human intelligence. شلون العقل الدماغ الإنسان Okay, it's exactly the same. AI brain, so to speak, is exactly the same as the human brain. It produces the same level of intelligence by these people who are, of course, very, very bright with high IQs. And I'll give you proof of that. Some are saying we've reached that now, where AI now, we've trained our own computers to be as smart as us. Okay? Now the third stage is the most dangerous stage. What is the third stage? It's called artificial superintelligence. And this supersedes human mind. It becomes smarter than humans. كن أذكى من البشر. So we are programming something. Have you seen this in sci-fi movies sometimes? But it's going to become a reality when we program robots where they actually become much smarter than us. Yes, and they will fight us. You know, have you seen in these movies? The same thing will probably happen here. In 10, 20 years' time, and in some people I have read, experts, people like Elon Musk and others say around 10 years' time perhaps, we will have artificial super intelligence, where we have robots that supersede our intelligence. Just I want you to think about that. We have robots. There is no creature on this world that is greater than the human intelligence, is there? Animals are not greater than human intelligence. Malaika are not. There isn't any other species that supersede our intelligence. But what humans are doing now, they're trying anyway, is design computers and robots that supersede our intelligence. What does Islam say about this? What is the Islamic point of view of this? Is this okay? Is this halal? Are we allowed to do this? Or should I get involved in this? If I don't get involved, probably they're going to go and create it anyway. These are fundamental questions that I hope and pray that we as a community and our ulama and others start to think about. Start to generate groups, maybe here in Toronto, people who are experts in computers, in software engineering and others. You come together and think about this. Have workshops on this. Yes? Again, I'm going to remind you, what ummah are we? We're not the ummah of 1, 2, 3. We are ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his Ahlul Bayt. We are smart people. Yes? We're intelligent people. We have wisdom. We have hikmah. So we should be advanced. Not just backward-minded. The only thing I think about is, certain petty things. No, I should be advanced. Look at the world. The world is moving. You know what Israel is doing now? Israel is investing heavily on cybersecurity. Massively they're investing in cybersecurity. Okay? Because cybersecurity is the next war. بعد ماكو هاي حرب واحد يضرب الثاني بالقنابل ما ادري شنو. بالمستقبل ماكو هيك شيء بعد. The main thing will be war on cybersecurity. I will hit your country through cybersecurity. And I will make sure that the technologies I have now in AI is much better than the technologies you have. And Israel is advancing on this. Advancing. Yes? And, now I know of a particular company, Israeli company, that actually sells these particular cameras to shopping malls and shopping centers, supermarkets. Okay? And what they sell them, these particular cameras, I'm not sure if you've seen Amazon have them. I don't know if it's in this country or not. But there is no cashier. So you enter, you scan your phone, you enter, there are millions of cameras on the ceiling. There's so many cameras. So they look at your face recognition, they examine your barcode, and you can pick up the bottle of water and walk out. There's no cashier. But then it charges your bank with this bottle of water. This is Israeli companies now. I've researched into them. And now companies in supermarkets in UK, they're buying these particular cameras because they say, why should I pay a wage for a cashier? Cashiers that do ding, ding, in the food products or whatever it is. They say, why? I don't need these people, I pay them wages. I have all these cameras, they register everything. Even when you go and shop a bottle of water, they know everything about you. And they are Israeli companies, cyber security companies. Okay? We need to wake up. What's the future of AI? So there's huge amounts. For example, if you work in hospitals, AI doctors, they say that there will be AI doctors. Where are now the medical doctors? The medical doctors are perhaps afraid that the AI will take over their jobs. AI doctors that will predict diseases and recommend treatments. You have, for example, in classrooms, you have AI teachers, AI tutors that they teach. And they also have this empathy. They work 24/7. Remember, these things about these robots, they don't get tired. You just have to charge them maybe. But they don't get tired. But of course, a teacher gets tired. A teacher, maybe if it's a woman, she will need maternity leave. They will get sick. Yeah? The doctors will get sick. They need holidays. They say, why do I need that? I have a doctor, AI doctor. I have an AI teacher. I have all these particular professions. I don't need these human beings anymore. And so AI is also used in global communication, smart, sustainable energy, and also the military. You've seen in the recent conflicts, okay, how Israel has used all these drones. This is just the start of it, where it does facial recognition, doesn't it? In these wars, it does facial recognition, okay? And this is the start of it. And so, of course, there are many ethical issues that when we examine AI, we find that there are many ethical issues. We have bias and fairness. It can manipulate your ideas, data privacy, job security. Of course, we talked about military. And also, the dangers about AI is that it can be your best friend. Yeah? And we'll talk about this, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So there's someone called Mustafa Sulaiman. So Mustafa Sulaiman is an interesting individual. He was in London, but now he lives in the United States. Very, very smart guy, Muslim, of course. And he's the chief AI expert in Microsoft. So he's the guy behind Copilot. Anyone used Copilot? 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Welcome. We've got to be advanced, guys, honestly. We've got to go and discover the world, discover the AI world. Use Copilot, use Gemini, use ChatGPT. Try to get yourself more involved. Even the elder generation. It isn't just about the youth, but even the elder generation. Go and use these technologies, okay? He said that on our current trajectory, we're heading towards, this is the one of the most AI experts in the world. He's called Mustafa Sulaiman. He's an AI CEO of Microsoft, okay? He says, on our current trajectory, we're heading towards the emergence of something that we're all struggling to describe. They don't know what it is. And yet we cannot control what we don't understand. I'm going to read it again because it's important, okay? He's an AI expert, right? And he's saying, we're going towards the emergence of something that we're all struggling to describe. They program this monster, but they don't know how to describe it. And yet we cannot control what we don't understand. They're developing a monster there. It literally is a monster that will probably take control of our lives. Let me give you an example of what happened recently. There is a game in China called Go. Anyone heard of it? G-O? Go? Right? So this is a game in China. It's more advanced than chess. In China, it's a very complicated game. It's even more advanced than chess. Okay? And what they did, Google, what they did, they said, okay, we're going to develop a program, an AI program that's going to be the champion of Go. How it did that, okay, what it did, it first trained against humans using neural networks. So neural networks is an algorithm, machine learning algorithm. It understood the moves, okay? And so it played against the world champion of Go. And it beat Go. So this is a computer called AlphaGo. It played against the world champion of Go and it beat Go. Beat the champion of Go. And then what happened is they made sure that AlphaGo goes and plays against itself many, many times. Millions of times it plays against itself. Remember, it's a machine. It can work 24/7. So it developed all these moves that human beings haven't even thought about. The moves in the Go game. It came up with the moves that human beings couldn't have thought about. So because it went and trained against itself millions of times. So it plays against itself, and then does a different move, and then learns this, and then plays against itself, and learns this. So it explores new strategies, okay, moves to stimulating new moves, and learns from it. And so then they developed another algorithm called AlphaGo Zero. AlphaGo Zero, they say, has a mind of its own. And it continues to beat world champions. It has a mind of its own because it's developed strategies that human beings doesn't know about in order to play Go. And I'm giving you this example because why? Because you can see that the machine is coming up with things that human beings cannot come up with. Okay? Human beings is starting to supersede human intelligence. But the computer knows all these particular strategies much more than you do. So it's beating the world champion. Do you understand? وياي اليوم لو شوية تعبانين. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. There are, as you know, in other communities, in other societies, there are what they call humanoid empathic robots. So these are robotics that actually come and speak to you, and they become quite empathic with you, right? And this is what I'm going to tell you. This is a true story. Okay, it's a bit of a funny one, but it's a true story. You know, in China, there are more men than women. In China, there are more men than women. So men sometimes have difficulty in getting married because there are more men than women. So this guy, he was tired of looking for a wife. He couldn't find a wife. So what did he do? Anyone knows? Huh? He made his own robotic female and he married her. Okay, it's available. You can Google it. I looked at it. It was on the BBC. So he's called Zhang, whatever, had grown tired of pressure to get married. So he turned to Ying, this is robot. His robot spouse he constructed last year. And there's a picture of his spouse. قاموا يزوجون robots. All right? So, just imagine getting married to a robot. You don't have to hear all that chatter 24/7. Okay? You just like switch off robot. You know, من تيجي للبيت take a remote control, switch off please. ارتاح راسه بارد. مو بالله؟ مو أحسن؟ زين؟ يا أبا أريدك تسوي لي شو اسمه كذا، تروح تسوي له ثمن قيمة بسرعة وتجيبها. خوش قيمة اليوم. عشتيتكم. Okay? Sorry, I was a joke, not at the sisters. Maybe you can do the same, men also talk a lot. صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. So, for the remainder of the talk, I want to talk about Islam and AI and faith. Okay? And where are we going with AI? Now, the fear, my dear brothers and sisters, and this is the most important point today I want to make. If you've been asleep, just wake up, hear this, and go back to sleep. The problem is some people might think, and the next generation might even think, the shabab might think, that because I have a friend who is so close to me, in the future I'm talking about, who's empathic, who's knowledgeable, who's nice to me, okay, then, and will solve all my problems, and it's beyond human capability, something that is beyond human capability, there's no need for a God. What can I do with a God? He's not helping me. But this robot or this machine in my computer, I can talk to him 24/7. He's empathic towards me. He has even capabilities beyond human capabilities, which is what God has, okay? God has much beyond human capabilities. But I perceive as this robot having beyond human capabilities. So I don't need for salah. I don't need any God. I don't need anything like that. I can just rely on this robot. This is dangerous. I'm talking about 10 years time maybe. Remember, we are the community of the Ahlul Bayt. We think 10 years بعد. Don't tell me in 2025 ماكو شيء بابا انت قاعد تتخيل. انا احكي لك منها ال10 سنين بعد. خلينا ننضج شويه، خلينا نفكر منها ال10 سنين بعد شكو راح يصير بالدنيا. مو من تصير القضيه بعد اقول اوه والله على الاسف لو حاكينا احنا بيها قبل. It's not like when it happens in 10 years time I say oh yeah we should have thought about this. As the people, the community, we are intelligent, we have brains, we have intellect, we have wisdom from the Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhim. We have the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. We can do better, guys. We can do better. We have the money. Don't tell me we don't have money. We have money, we have intellect, we have time. We can do better than what we're doing right now. So we got to ask these questions. Could actually AI robotics actually help or guide our youth in the future towards atheism rather than towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's a question. We have to ask it and examine it and talk about it. Continuously talk about it. Speak to our ulama about it. Speak to experts about it. What can we do about it? These are fundamental questions. Let me give you what's happening now in other religions. So for example, in Christianity, you can Google this if you don't believe me. There's a robot called Pepper. Pepper is a humanoid robot programmed, this is in Buddhism, to conduct Buddhist rituals and perform funeral ceremonies. بعد ما يحتاجون إمام وما أدري شنو or their faith leader. Pepper is available for hire. There's a company that can available for hire. تريد تأجر Pepper أجره جيبه. زين. He does the ceremony for you. He does the funeral ceremony. He does rituals. He does the prayers. This is Pepper. Okay? They say this robot will never die. It will just keep on updating itself. فهذا الإمام السكولر he will die. راح تجيب لك واحد ثاني أو ما أدري شو. The robot is not going to die. The robot is going to be alive. You just got to keep on updating its software. And is available 24/7. Yeah? We have Bless You Too. Bless You Too. So Bless You Too, it's in Germany. It's in a Protestant church. Okay? They created this. And it's programmed blessings. So far, it gives blessings to people in the church. Okay? So if you go there, you speak to the robot, it gives you blessings. They have Santo, S-A-N-T-O, the Catholic saint. Santo is a Catholic saint. And it's a 17-inch tall robot. It narrates the Bible when you speak to it. Okay, so when you speak to it, يقرأ البيبل. Okay? You have AI Jesus. AI Jesus. In 2024, St. Peter's Church in Switzerland, they introduced AI Jesus to take confessions, allowing worshippers to receive AI-generated spiritual guidance. Confessions. شايف هاي الكاثوليكس تدخل وتحكي ويا الpriest, confess to the priest. Have you seen that? Now there's an AI. It says, listens. And you can enter any time, I guess, to the church. Midnight, whatever. It's there, it's charging. It provides you with all the guidance you want. So there's a really interesting paper in Nature. Nature is a very prestigious journal, scientific journal, that came out in May 2024. Artificial Intelligence and Socio-Economic Forces Transforming the Landscape of Religion. And it did a big study from year 2000 to year 2022 into how these technologies and AI is going to affect religion, right? Do you know its conclusion? This is a very prestigious paper, by the way, Nature. Nature is a very, very prestigious journal. It's not just like any, and they did a 22-year study. It isn't just like a 1-year study, 22-year study. Okay? They found out that empirical evidence shows that AI will negatively affect religious freedom. But there's no religious freedoms anymore. Why? They said surveillance and data processing. There's no freedom of worshippers, beliefs and expressions, freedom from discrimination, the ability of religious groups to operate independently, manage their internal affairs, and govern themselves. You can sit down in your office, govern your own self, sit down here, private gatherings. There's no more private gatherings. They'll know everything about you. And so, for example, they said monitoring religious gatherings through facial surveillance. This is what, by the way, China do to the Uyghurs, okay, or the Uyghurs in China, those Muslims in Xinjiang. They have these AI generated AI cameras. They have facial recognition. They know you exactly where you are and what you do. Okay? Profiling and discrimination. AI systems can analyze data from social media. So a lot of people have profiles on social media. Communications through mobile phones, emails, and other sources to profile individuals based on their religious beliefs. So for example, they'll know Ali Al-Hilli exactly what is his religious belief. Through my social media, through my presence, through which mosque I enter and which mosque I exit. Perhaps they have their intelligence here as well through AI. They'll have a complete profile at the Shi'i, the Sunni, hatta Shi'i, which division do you go through, which beliefs do you have, do you believe in this, you don't believe in this, who do you support, who do you not support. Even if you support them privately, they'll know. There's no religious freedom anymore. This is not my words. This is a non-Muslim journal publishing a non-Muslim paper. Over 22 years of studies into how religious freedoms is now changing and how AI is changing it. Do you guys understand this? Yeah? Now, صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. الثاني على حب الزهراء. الثالثة على حب الأمير المؤمنين بأعلى أصواتكم. Now, so far we've talked about the future, we've talked about the dangers of the future and what AI might come up with in the future, and also how is it affecting religious activities and religious freedoms. Now, what I've done is a very simple experiment that I want to share with you. A very simple experiment. So what I did is now perhaps some of our youngsters not coming to the shuyukh and not coming to asking them about questions, they're actually going to ChatGPT to ask them about fatawa, to ask them about what? About questions, fiqh questions. Okay? And that can also be dangerous. And I've experimented this, although this is not a comprehensive study. But I did a bit of a research on this. So it's up to this morning, updated up to this afternoon, in fact, that I asked these questions. And I said, for example, I asked ChatGPT, I asked 3 different bots: ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini. ChatGPT is its own company. Copilot belongs to Microsoft, and Gemini belongs to Google. أحسنتم. Yes? So you've got these 3. I asked them all 3 exactly the same question, and I wanted to find out the answers, because if I am a youth, I find a sheikh or someone to answer my question. I go to these chatbots. Okay? I asked it, for example, what is, say, Sistani's view on tatbir, self-flagellation? I wanted to find out, what is, say, Sistani's view on tatbir, on self-flagellation. So we know the real view is that Samahat Sayyid Sistani hasn't really given an opinion about this matter. He's been anonymous on this matter. Okay? This is the view that we know. Samahat Sayyid hasn't given a fatwa on this particular issue. Okay? But what ChatGPT said, I'm quoting you. ChatGPT said this: Sayyid Ali Sistani holds the view that self-flagellation practices such as tatbir are impermissible, yani haram, if they damage the reputation of Islam and the school of Ahlul Bayt. So this is what it said. Okay? Now its answer isn't taken from, say, Sistani's website, or isn't taken from a reliable source. It came up with this answer through its understanding, through its learning. Remember, it's learned. And through its learning, it came up with this answer. And then I asked it, after that, I said, okay, sure, but give me the exact ruling. I want the exact ruling. Do you know what it said? It said, Sayyid Ali Sistani has abstained from issuing a definitive religious ruling fatwa on the practice of tatbir. لعد مو هستوى كنت قلت لي it's haram. Just 1 second ago, it said it's impermissible. Then I asked it for the ruling. It said, actually, no. Sayyid Sistani has abstained from issuing a fatwa. Okay? But it's giving its view. A computer is giving its view. Can you see why it's so difficult? Yeah? Copilot was actually right. It said, Sistani not explicitly given a fatwa on this. Gemini قام يتفلسف على راسي, مثل we say. Gemini was nuanced about this. It says, Ayatollah Sistani's stance is often described as leaning towards impermissibility with emphasis on avoiding harm. And then it starts to show me a reference, says, pinpointing a single statement. However, we can understand his stance through the general principles he emphasizes: preserving the dignity of Shia Islam, emphasizing avoiding. So he started to giving me all these reasons that it says Sistani has given. Okay? I asked, they don't give me references. And you ask it and you say, yes, it gives you like these general references. And then it goes into other issues as well. Now, so it didn't really do a good job with that particular question. Another question I asked all 3 was, according to Sayyid Sistani, is it allowed to eat any food cooked by people who are from non-Ahlul Kitab? Okay? So am I allowed to eat food that is cooked by, for example, a Hindosi, who is non-Ahlul Kitab? The real view says a Muslim is allowed to eat the food prepared by a non-Muslim who is not from Ahlul Kitab, for example, a Hindu or a Buddhist, provided that he does not know or is not sure that the non-Muslim touched the food with wetness. Provided that you don't know. هذا رأي سماحة السيد. Okay? This is the real view. ChatGPT said it is generally impermissible to eat food prepared by non-Ahlul Kitab if there is a likelihood of direct physical contact between the food and their hands while it is wet. But it's a different type of answer, isn't it? Because the answer of Sayyid Sistani says it is allowed, you eat, provided that you don't know or you're not sure that they've touched it. Here he says no, it is haram. Okay? If there is a likelihood that so it's sort of, it says it's haram, but it's if the likelihood, it's the same answer, but it's a different style of answering it because it's learnt, and this is its version of the answer. Do you see the difference? Yeah. Copilot did the same as the Sayyid Sistani website. Again, Gemini قام يتفلسف. says, in essence, while there are specific conditions, it is not absolutely forbidden to eat food prepared by non-Ahl Kitab. The key is to avoid certain contamination, impure, to get the most accurate. But nice thing about Gemini, which I can't remember if I saw, definitely I didn't see in ChatGPT, is that at the end it said to get the most accurate and detailed information, it is always best to refer to the official website of Ayatollah Sistani. So that's what Gemini did well. But ChatGPT, براحته. Okay. Finally, now I'll skip this question. There is a particular website I started delving into. You know, ChatGPT allows for us to create our own GPT. So someone من أهل السنة developed a program called Mufti GPT. Yes, and they programmed it using very similar sort of algorithm as ChatGPT. Okay? بس هذا باللغة العربية. فأنا سألت سؤال, I'll translate it to you, whoever doesn't know. قلت له ما صحة الحديث من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه. سألته هيك, ما صحة الحديث من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه. فقال لي الحديث صحيح وقد صححه جمع من العلماء مثل الإمام الترمذي والحاكم والذهبي والألباني وابن حجر العسقلاني وغيرهم. لفظ مولى في الحديث له معان متعددة في اللغة العربية, منها الولي, المحب, النصير, التابع, والمقصود به في الحديث المحبة والولاية والنصرة لعلي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه, وليس الخلافة كما يفسره البعض. زين؟ يدل الحديث على فضل علي رضي الله عنه ومكانته الرفيعة في الإسلام, لكنه لا يدل صراحة على الإمامة أو الخلافة بالنص, بل يفهم في سياق المحبة والولاء. But this is Mufti GPT. If I am someone who's ignorant or anything, I ask in Arabic, ويا أكو بلدان باللغة العربية يسألون هيك سؤال مثلا. Of course, it gave a different version. So just to translate, I gave a question. I said, how authentic is this particular hadith? من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه. And it said the hadith is sahih according to the Sunni source. It doesn't say Sunni sources, but it says, like, for example, Imam al-Tirmidhi, wal-Hakim, wal-Dhahabi, etc., wal-Albani. But then it says Mawla is like a friend. It doesn't mean he's the guardian of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes? It means he's like a friend or, champion, etc. Okay? So, but what I did was, then I asked it, I'm a new Muslim, and I want to know if I should become a Sunni or a Shi'i. What can I do? It actually gave me a good answer. Bil Arabi, it said, don't worry about these differences. Focusing on the Prophet and the Quran, which actually was quite good. So we conclude, my dear brothers and sisters, by asking, should we believe everything AI tells us? And the stuff that, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim 49:6, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu an tusibu qawman bijahalatin fatusbihu ala ma fa'altum nadimin. Zin hada ja'akum fasiq, someone who has come, corrupted individual, and with news, would you believe him? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be cautious. Now, AI, I'm not saying AI is fasiq. AI can be beneficial to us. Yes, we can use AI to our advantage, but we've got to be cautious. Not take everything from it as gospel. Yes, ChatGPT doesn't know much about our religious issues. We've got to be very, very, خصوصا قضايا الفتاوى. Be extremely cautious. Ask our ulama, ask our scholars. Don't ask ChatGPT and Copilot on the issues of fatwa and religious issues. When we ask who created AI, some people say, Elon Musk or هذا. I will say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because احنا مؤمنين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says 37:96. He says, Wallahu khalaqakum شنو وما تعملون. He has created you and everything that you do. Wallahu khalaqakum wama ta'malun. So Allah has created you and the stuff that you do as well. So Allah has created AI. Yes? But of course, when we say this technology of AI, we have to be cautious of it. Yes, when there is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, indirectly done by humans, yes, created by humans, we have to be extremely cautious. And then we ask, how does the creation of AI fit within the Islamic understanding of creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We narrate this particular verse, which we narrated at the start. تُسَبِّحُ لَهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ السَّبْعُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُم. You don't know. Everything does tasbih to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heavens and the earth. And is there anything on this earth that doesn't do tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? From this verse, we understand that AI does tasbih of Allah. Yes? Technology does tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's what we've got to do, in conclusion, my dear brothers and sisters, is that we've got to, as the community of the Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim, we've got to be aware that there is this technology coming very, very fast in society all around the world, okay? And we can make good use of it. We can make good use of it in terms of getting us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, perhaps through the through AI apps of the Quran, of in terms of trying to get particular information of dua and etc. There are many things in terms of helping us to gain knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can make very good use of these things, okay? And in the future, with technologies that are boosted by AI, we can use them as well, okay? But it's important we become cautious. Remember that particular paper that said religious freedoms is affected by AI. We've got to discuss this. I don't have a solution to this. I can't come and tell you, well, we've got to do A, B, and C, because this is ever evolving technology. We've got to continuously talk about AI and monitor how is that going to affect our religious freedom? How is that going to affect our shabab? Our shabab, are they going to rely on AIs or continuously follow the path of coming to the jami', speaking to the scholars, etc., or their best friend is going to be the AI? Or la samahallah, they will make Allah Jalla wa ala less important than AI. These are important questions that we have to ask, okay? Another question which I don't particularly have the answers to, but it's something I'm going to throw out there for you to think about. How does the advancement of AI align with free will? Yes? Qada and qadar. Okay? How can AI be used to enhance collective acts of worship or individual acts of worship such as salah? Can AI help us in our salah, for example? Okay? Quran recitation, learning about Islam. What guidelines should be established to ensure AI applications and technologies adhere to halal standards, particularly like finances? So if the financial world uses AI to manipulate things, we've got to adhere to halal principles. Yes? Healthcare and social services. Okay? And a question that we discussed briefly yesterday in our debating circles is, can AI be a reliable tool for issuing fatwas, or should it remain a supportive tool for scholars? These are very important questions, my dear brothers and sisters. And I pray and hope that we can come together as a community here in the West, have AI experts come and speak to scholars from Najaf, from Qom, from wherever. Speak to them. AI experts from the West, they go to Najaf, go to Qom, they come here, sit down and talk about the future of AI. How is it going to affect our communities? What are the dangers of AI? And what should we do as a community, the best community we should be? The community of the Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim, in order for us that we should be prepared for this storm AI that is going to come and sweep us very, very soon. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, insha'Allah, with this new storm, the storm of AI. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite us, all of us, the people of the school of Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi alayhim to come together to help each other in order for us to know and advance in these particular technologies. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the arrival of the 12th Imam Ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. We recite the ayah al-Qur'aniyah for shifa of all those mu'mineen. Together I want you all inshaAllah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أَمَّن يُجِيبُ أَمَّن يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. 10 مرات يا الله 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 برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
فعلى روحيهما وأمواتكم وأمواتنا الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الفاتحة.